Hello, everyone. I'm Russ with the Smiths of the Black Channel here at Ticker Talker, and we're coming into the end of the year. Happy New Year for everyone. It was a really amazing year for trading. I'll say that. I've been doing this coming up on 32 years now, and I'm going to tell you, for most people, this is depending on how long you've been around. This is probably one of your best years, and if it's not, we're going to make sure next year is. But when you have this kind of move here, let's go back to SPY here on the monthly, and you're going to see this. How we started off the year and just a little poke up here, and then the big slam banger. You got to know how to be able to trade something like this when they're really falling apart, which was really nice. And then this monster rally off the lows from the second quarter all the way back up into here. So, as I've been talking about most of this month, we want to see which side of this month we're going to take out. Right now, SPY's starting to elevate a little bit. You can see here on the upper left. All right, doing nothing right for right now. We got an outside day and now 2 days inside. So to start the year off, first of all, we got to see how we can get outside of this day here, right? As for right now, this is why you want to be avoiding the future. Something's going up, something's going down, and basically just kind of hovering here. And you can see on the weekly, there's a bad tick up into here on the week, but you can see on the weekly, look at this. We opened the week here at 371.74. We've moved 10 cents, 10 cents since the opening on Monday. So a holiday week, you can expect that. So also to start off the new year and month and week and all that, either side of this week is something we want to know about, right? So we'll see how that goes. So on, let me see here, what's DraftKings down? Sorry, I'm keeping an eye on some movement for you. DraftKings, there we go. We'll get to that in just a second. But what we do on the first of the month, and especially the first of the year, the quarters, we break out our big boy charts and stuff like this. So there's certain things we want to know about. So we don't, because of, here, let me get this chart for you. I want to show you the yearly chart of the S&P. Well, there's your TSR. We'll get to that in a second. Spider. And if we go to the yearly chart, here, this is a big outside year. You can see that. This is rare, all right? It almost never happens. Going back to 1985 all the way here, it's only happened once here. And that just poked down a little bit and went back up. That was in, let's see here, 2016. But you can see how massive this range was this year, right? We opened higher, went all the way down, and came all the way back. And that's, I mean, you can't ask for any better trading than that. So the thing is, now that we got this outside, what do we do with this? We're much closer than taking out the highs, right? It would be outside bars of 3 on our numerology, and then here 3-2 to the upside because one of the massive 3-2s. Tesla was an outside year last year. Outside 3-2. Boom. Did we know about that? We did. So the other thing we want to look for is what kind of consolidation do we have in coming into the end of the year. And so if we go back up here, and go to the quarterly, inside bar on the quarter, you're going to see something that's going to get my attention. And what that's going to be is this. You're not going to have a lot of inside years because of the big outside year. But to start off the new year, inside quarter, Microsoft gets my attention. Facebook gets my attention. Netflix gets my attention. Overstock gets my attention. NVAX, Nvidia, Amazon, all of these are inside quarters. So those are going to tell quite the tale once they can start to break those. And let me get this out of your way. There we go. Because if you look at something like your Amazon, here you can see this has been doing nothing. Inside month, lower middle, and these 3 months are your inside quarter, and you are nowhere near breaking that, right? Facebook, these 3 months, lower middle, these 3 months are completely within this range. How do you take that out, or how do you take that out? And we're nowhere near doing it. So those things are going to be really important. I make a macro video, and I invite you to come check that out on the newsletter section here on my channel. If we go back to Tesla, hard to say not the stock of the year, pretty much, right? Tesla, and here's some of the things lower left that I've talked about all year since I've been here. The Momo Hammer. the spike down, the back up, and then boom, right there, here, right there, and that was real nice. And one of the other things that we look for was once we know, we have this high continuity that has been blasting off all year. Then we looked for the inside month here a few months ago, right there, right? Did we know about that? We sure did. Boom, over 465, 90. Never looking back here. And then this week, the inside week, Momo Hammer down, trap the shorts, boom, new highs. And so Tesla looking to go out on the highs of the year. So is what it is. So all the Tesla Qsters go wham, wham, wham. If we go to Western Digi, and Western Digital here just comes firing like a cannon out of here today. And so on this lower middle, remember this internal triangle. So it still hasn't gotten out of this range, this thing here. Right, but now it's picking up some steam, and if you go to the upper middle, you're going to see once this thing goes green here on the week, you're going to see we're going to get the broadening formation here, the lower lows, and then the higher highs on the outside bar. So when this thing came through here, inside day, 212 reversal, starts coming through here, we're looking for these bars to become an outside bar of all this, which it did, and then we'll see if there's any more to it, because in history it's been a lot higher. That also tells us to keep an eye on STX to a lesser extent, but oftentimes they trade together, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, watching the SPY, doing nothing, just chopping around. If we go to CRE, and CRE, we were looking at this yesterday and talked about this yesterday here. See this 60? Here's how you wait for corrective activity to get in. Inside bar, lower left, down, down, hammer, back up, boom, Momo hammer here. And when we look at the upper left, right? So our concern was yesterday that we're still inside weak, but we knew this. This is an outside bar. This is a down, 2. Boom, here's your 2-2 reversal. 3-2-2. It didn't take that out yesterday, but it just ran out of time. So you'll notice that these 3 bars are an outside bar of all this. So when we had the reversal here, our magnitude was to take this out, which it did, and then bright green on the month. If we go to MU, and MU, coming up here in MU, now inside on the 60, right? And MU just started screaming here too when we had SMH come up here and just kind of stall out a little bit. MU kept going, right? So SMH just kind of sitting there. We'll see if MU sets up again. Netflix, now we know it's an inside quarter, but if we look at the internals of what we're dealing with here, you're going to see this. All 3 of these are inside of these 3 here in the lower middle, right? But we are a 2-2 reversal on the month, right? That's good. So you can still get some action in here. We still have to take these quarterlies out. But if you go to the weekly upper middle, once this took that down and started coming back through and goes green, we're looking to become an outside bar of this, which it did, right? You got it off the inside day in the upper left. It's a little quick. Tried to poke down a little bit there, and then boom, as soon as this thing goes green right here, you got full throttle to the upside, and off she went. So now you can see on the 60 starting to come in a little bit. You want to be real careful here because we know we're not getting any futures help in some of these stocks. We want to see if they follow through in the afternoon. So that's really what we're going to be doing here, is make sure everything doesn't dry up. If you go to IPI, and IPI, Intrepid Potash, now just kind of getting stuck here on your 60, but you can see here in the upper middle, the inside weak, the slight poke down, boom, that's a rev strat to the upside. 1, 2, 2. Yeah, it's a little sparse on the upside, really, but you shenaniganers more like BT. I mean, for real big upside anyway, I should say, besides the Teslers. BT, you can see this thing still ripping here off the inside week. Just some exhaustive activity up into here on that. If we go to Brooks Automation here, BRKS. And this was on the gap list, and one of the things we look for is here when you gap down and then go inside bar. Here. And then reverse higher, which it did. How far that's going to go is another story. But really, what we're looking at here too was the Q's slightly underperforming because of some of the big boys. Apple. And Apple, these bars become an outside bar of this in the upper left, right? And so here, We call this exhaustion. When you go into new highs, the buyer's got to keep stepping up. So it's not the end of the world here. It's corrective activity. But when you come back through previous ranges, here's your rev strat weaker right here. 1, 2, 2, and off she goes. If the buyers don't step up, then you're profit taking land. So where some people say, "Oh, it's clear blue skies over here," I'm like, "No, that's the land of profit taking once you go into new highs." We go to Overstock. Overstock having some issues here, and you can see in the upper middle, it's an inside weak to the downside. All right, bright red on the month, and then here's the continuation pattern that we look for. Taking out the low, previous high, boom. These two become an outside bar of that. Right, the 2, 2, 2, and the bottom drops out, and then you see the lower middle, the inside bar. Blow that up for you. That's all you got to do is look for this. The inside on the 60, reconfirming the 222 here, and the inside weak to the downside, Overstock. Not that hard, folks. If we go to TWLO, and TWLO, inside month to the upside, but you're running out a month, right? If you go to the upper middle, you're going to see the shooting star, the 2 up, the 2 down reversal to 2. Then you're going to see the inside days here in the upper left. Boom, take them out. Now the magnitude is only to take these guys out, but good things can tend to happen if they keep going. Another thing we look for, the outside bar on the lower middle, lower left, inside 312, Chicago. Going to take this out, which it did. Now we'll see if that sets up again. If we go to LRCX, and LRCX, once again, here, takes out the previous low, takes out the previous high, slighter higher high, boom, 222, going to come back through here. These two become an outside bar of that. And what you'll see is this was a slight higher high, then these are slight lower lows, and if you blow that out in the 60, you're going to see the broadening formation. Like so. And you're inside 60 to take it down. Now we'll see if we can get out of that. If we go to snow. And snow, here's another thing we look for. Here's that taking out the previous low, then very slightly taking out the previous high, 2 down, 2 up, boom. I'm going to take this out and become an outside bar of this. It's also shooter counter's hammer, but that's 222. That's all you need to know, right? Now you can watch it set up. Let's see if it's set up on a nice 15 or something in here. Maybe a nice 30. There's an inside 30 right here. If we go to Moderna. In Moderna, same deal on the daily. You're going to see this. Taking out the previous low, taking out the previous high, ace tail, outside bar of that. And we're alerted to that by this bright red month. I always want to keep an eye on the monthly, right, especially as the month goes on. Bright red on the week, still coming in. And you can see here was the reversal we talked about. The 2 up, the inside weak, boom, never recovered. From here, 147.20, trading 104, 105 or so, not bad. If we go to CRM, and CRM slightly inside day to the downside, so you can see this 4 weeks in here, right? The 2 down, the 2 up, the coming back through. So you can see the slight lower low and the slight higher high, potential broadening formation. So we're looking to see if they can take these guys out, all right? Because that's what broadening formations do, by definition. If we go to BNTX, and I'm always running out of time, I tell you, just like 2020, we almost made it. So BNTX, so I just want to point this out because when you see this month poke up like this and start coming through here, and you get into here, this is going to be an outside month almost for sure, right? And so you're going to look for signals to take this out, right? So if you did that, you see the inside day here, boom. And then yesterday's outside day and the 3-2 to the downside. Let me see here. Well, I'm not going to waste too much time because it's New Year's Eve, and be aware that we're running out of time, that things might dry up here. It was a pretty active morning. However, we'll see what the follow through is here in the afternoon. Some of those movers like Kessler, who likes to stick it to him, I'd certainly keep an eye on that. All right, I hope everybody makes it through 2020, and I'll see you next year. All right, I'm Rob Smith, the Smith the Black Channel here, Ticker Talker with the Strat Time Report.